High performance and high integrity. Is this possible, or must we sacrifice one for the other? With us at INSEAD Knowledge today is Jean-François Manzoni, Professor of Management Practice, who is going to talk to us about how we can build and nurture high integrity within a high-performance corporate culture. Jean-François, welcome to INSEAD Knowledge.
My pleasure.
Why is it so hard to achieve both performance and integrity in a corporation?
Why don't people do the right thing? Very often for a combination of fear. Fear that if I don't do this, bad things will happen to me and or to my mates and or to the organization. Fear and or greed. Greed in the sense of, if I do this, I will be in a position to secure more rewards, again, for myself and or for my mates. So motivation and the trade-offs that are possible between actions that increase short-term performance, but maybe at the long-term cost to the organization, make this possible. But there's another aspect which is increasingly discussed, and I think was not discussed that much not so long ago, and that's the fact that sometimes it's not an issue of fear or greed. It's simply an issue that people don't realize that what they're doing is not okay. So an increasing amount of research shows that human beings have a tendency to overestimate how ethical they are, to overestimate their own integrity, and by the way, the integrity of their friends. And that as a result, they are often blind to their own transgressions. They think that what they're doing is okay, even when it's not.
How do you reshape an organization to include high integrity?
Reshaping an organization's culture, whether it's to foster more integrity or to foster more participation or more diversity and inclusion, always at the general level includes the same basic premise. And that basic premise is you've got to reshape the behavior of enough people for long enough. Now, people often think, well, if culture has to do with the way people think, we need to change the way people think. That's true, except none of us, at least last time I checked, have an appliance that allows us to go directly and tweak people's minds. So how do we change people's attitude? Well, in part by addressing their attitudes and talking to their attitudes, but in large part by modifying their behavior. Aristotle, 2,000, close to 500 years ago, said it very well. We don't behave a certain way because we have a virtue. It's rather the other way around. We have that virtue because we've behaved that way repeatedly over time. So you want to reshape the behavior of enough individuals for long enough, where long enough means years. Typically years, much more than months or weeks, if it's a non-trivial change. And so then how do you reshape the behavior of enough people for long enough? Well, by activating a series of levers that are generally and largely under the influence of senior executives. And those series of levers, or that series of levers, includes things like the structure of the organization, the processes that are in place, the key performance indicators and the incentives, obviously also top management's behavior, very powerful lever to influence behavior, the information that is available, and the capabilities of the individuals, of the members of the organization. So these levers and a few others, but these levers need to send a very coherent and very persistent signal over time. And again, if you send a powerful signal and you maintain those signals in place for long enough, you have a better chance of reshaping the behavior of enough people for long enough.